Welcome to another podcast from the Vin Man in the Vin Van. Today we'll be listening in on a conversation I had with some friends about the Sufi concept of Zat.
What you reading there, Vince?
This same sentence over and over again.
What is that sentence, Vince? What's that?
You guys help me out a little bit on this. Okay.
We'll put it to music. Go ahead.
The life absolute from which has sprung all that is felt, seen, and perceived, and into which all again merge in time, is a silent, motionless, and eternal life, which among the Sufis is called Zat.
How do you spell that?
Z-A-T.
Oh, thank you.
Maybe that's Zat. Maybe that's Zat. There's a little thing over it.
Maybe could you read it one more time? I think I got most of it.
That's the silent part that's interesting to me.
Well, does it go on to explain how you do it?
How do you do it?
Tell me how you do it.
What's the
now.
recipe? What's the
How you do
recipe?
that?
How do you generate Zat?
Well,
I like some of Zat.
it just happens to.
Generator.
Every motion that springs forth from this silent life is a vibration and a creator of vibrations. Within one vibration are created many vibrations. A motion causes motions, so the silent life becomes active in a certain part and creates every moment more and more actively, losing thereby the peace of the original silent life. Zap!
Does it have to be silent? I don't understand that part.
Well, we're almost through the paragraph, and then that's all I'll be able to handle. It is the grade of activity of these vibrations that accounts for the various planes of existence. These planes are imagined to differ from one another, but in reality they cannot be entirely detached and made separate from one another. The activity of vibrations makes them grosser, and thus the earth is born of the heavens.
I was going along there until we got to the heaven part. Did that make sense to you?
Yes,
I was
and at
following
different
until
levels, at different levels of difference between the earth and heaven, there is grosser and grosser vibration. The vibrations are grosser and grosser. They're
Bigger and bigger?
They're completely connected.
Denser and denser.
They're denser and denser. So at the source, the vibrations
Move
are
slower and
ethereal.
slower.
And as they move into existence, they take on. They get
feel like
hit by
Allen Ginsberg.
existence. You know,
Longer
And
and
hit
deeper.
by
Longer and deeper.
hit by
Harder and
existence.
faster.
The pure vibrations that from the source are
The source being the earth?
no
No.
heaven.
Zat,
The last line.
Zat.
What's the first sentence again?
And I was reading it over and over again.
Read it really fast this time.
The life absolute from which has sprung all that is
Wait.
It's not quite that fast.
Follow the beat.
The life
Life absolute.
Absolute.
That's where it starts. Okay, that's enough.
I like that.
So that's where it starts. That's the source.
silent and
It is.
motionless.
But it's somewhere in particular.
Doesn't say.
No, it's
Just silent,
everywhere.
motionless, and
Everywhere.
eternal.
It's everywhere. It pervades
But
everything.
it's silent.
The Buddhists might say the emptiness. That's what I find it. Is the Zat the
So
same
it's
as the
not
emptiness?
here.
Sure.
Because this
yeah.
isn't silent.
Is it?
Well, I can think of it as the same as Tao.
The same as the Tao. So Zat, Tao, emptiness are all the same thing.
I just am trying to figure out how
Separating-
the energy, you were saying sometimes it's dense and sometimes it gets more ethereal.
Yeah.
So is that connected to starting with the earth and going out, or is there some other,
It comes from Zat. It all comes from Zat.
But if you can't say where it is, how do you know that it's thick and thinner later?
Well, because some people can see it. And that's the point. People.
Well,
There
when
are
they
people.
see it, are they seeing it here? Like right where we are right now,
Yes.
sitting here? So it doesn't have to be silent, because this isn't silent, unless they're talking
This
about
isn't.
something.
This isn't Zat.
All right.
This is the child of Zat.
Sort of like the Son of the Monster that Tower in Cleveland.
This is the film we're going to make this weekend.
The child of Zat.
All right.
The son of
I'll
Zat.
stop asking questions.
Why does it bother you about the
What?
silent part?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out where these concepts came from. Somebody was thinking this up.
Okay, read the silent, read the part down to the silence part.
To the silence, the same sentence?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. The life absolute from which has sprung all that is felt, seen, and perceived. So everything that we feel, see, or
Felt, see,
perceive
and
And it
comes
started out the life or the light?
the life absolute.
Life absolute.
The absolute life is.
No, life absolute, not absolute life.
Well,
Life absolute.
Why can't you say absolute life?
Because that's what you're reading in the book. You know, don't change it.
Yeah, right. There's that rigid mentality that's gotten us in all this trouble in the first place. Okay, but for you, the life absolute from which has sprung all that is felt, seen, and perceived. Okay, everything that is
Okay.
comes from the life absolute, and into which all again merges in time
Goes back.
is a silent, motionless, and eternal life, which among the Sufis is called Zat. Silent, motionless, and eternal. Well, that's Zat. Thanks for listening to this podcast of the Vin Man and the Vin Van. Until next time, be well and happy.